In that interview with 60 Minutes, President Trump backed off his claim that climate change is a hoax, but said he doesn't want to put the U.S. at a competitive disadvantage by responding to scientists' dire warnings. It comes as the president and first lady head this morning to Florida and Georgia to tour areas devastated by Hurricane Michael.
I think something's happening, something's changing, and it'll change back again. I don't think it's a hoax. I think there's probably a difference, but I don't know that it's man-made. I will say this. I don't want to give trillions and trillions of dollars. I don't want to lose millions and millions of jobs.
President Trump also echoing First Lady Melania Trump's distrust of some within his West Wing.
I feel the same way. I don't trust everybody in the White House, I'll be honest with you.
Adding he's been surprised by the no-holds-barred nature of politics.
This is the most deceptive, vicious world. It is vicious. It's full of lies, deceit, and deception.
Ahead of next month's midterms, the president telegraphing more turnover in his administration, responding to questions whether Defense Secretary Jim Mattis will step down.
I think he's sort of a Democrat, if you want to know the truth. But General Mattis is a good guy. We get along very well. He may leave. I mean, at some point, everybody leaves.
The president again calling the Mueller investigation unfair, while refusing to pledge that he won't shut it down.
Why should I pledge to you? If I pledge, I'll pledge. I don't have to pledge to you, but I have no intention of doing it. Do you really think I'd call Russia to help me with an election? Give me a break. They wouldn't be able to help me at all. Call Russia. It's so ridiculous.
The president pushing back when questioned about his embrace of Kim Jong-un in light of the atrocities committed by the North Korean leader.
All these things. I mean, I'm not a baby. I know all these
but
things.
Why do you love that guy?
Look. I get along with him, okay?
But you said love him.
Okay, that's just like a figure of speech.
No, it's like an embrace.
Well, let it be an embrace. Let it be whatever it is to get the job done.
He's a bad guy.
Look, let it be whatever it is. I get along with him really well.
President Trump also claiming credit for the confirmation of his Supreme Court pick, Justice Brett Kavanaugh, defending against criticism after he mimicked accuser Christine Blasey Ford.
How did you get home? I don't remember. How'd you get there? I don't remember. Where is the place? I don't remember. How many years ago was it? I don't know.
Had I not made that speech, we would not have won. I was just saying she didn't seem to know anything.
No,
and you're trying to destroy a life of a man who has been extraordinary.
Why did you have to make fun of her?
I didn't really make fun.
Well, they were laughing.
What I said is the person that we're talking about didn't know the year, the time, the place.
The president all along relishing the chance to joust with a high-profile journalist.
Hey,
all right,
it's
we're
okay.
having another fight with you.
Leslie, it's okay. In the meantime, I'm president and you're not.
Okay, Peter, there was a lot in that interview to talk about. He was asked pointedly about his relationship with the Russian President Vladimir Putin. Tell us about that.
Yeah, you know, he really revealed how he views America's relationships with many of its longtime adversaries. Think of this as the Trump doctrine, perhaps, on Russia dismissing the gravity of Vladimir Putin's at times ruthless behavior. President Trump was asked if he believes Putin is involved in assassinations and poisonings, and the president said Putin's, quote, probably involved, but he explains that he relies on them and said it's not in our country, punctuating his America First policy, even if it means, in many cases, looking away from other countries' brutality. Savannah?
All right, lots to unpack there. Peter, thank you very much.